taxes yet? Have you submitted them yet? I actually did, and I would say my experience this year was actually quite good. I don't know if that is because they have delegated all of the functions straight over to AI, or if our IRS was at the time that I did them just pinging on all fronts. Who knows? But let's talk about some of the things that are happening in the US and globally for that matter. I don't know if the middle of the month is a good time for you because I actually feel like there's so much that we have to take care of, like at the beginning of the month, whether it's like rent and different bills and all that. And like the 15th, I feel like is this sort of slowdown, or if the 15th is your busy time of the month. So definitely hit the subscribe button, like this video. If you are a first-time watcher, thank you for stopping through. If you are a returning watcher, nice to have you back. Okay, let's get into it. There are a few different things that I think are very important this morning, and one of them being Abrego Garcia. I think that's how you say his last name, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And that is that yesterday's meeting in the Oval Office by Donald Trump and Bukele, I think is how you say his last name, that was sort of devastating. To all of us, because not only does it say that people who are wrongfully taken away from the United States and put into a jail, a prison in another country, are not worth, in their sort of opinion, worrying about. Hey, Vivian, how are you? Bonjour. It is very, very disturbing. And a lot of people have been asking, are we in a constitutional crisis? Yes, I believe we are. A lot of people have been speculating over time, like Signalgate and the market manipulation and Pete Hegseth and his drama, all the things with JD and Greenland and now Panama. Thank you for giving me a like. It just feels like this is one more thing that feels very, how would you say, like personal and intentional. Thank you for joining me. It is a lovely, lovely Tuesday morning. If you are anywhere and you're feeling like Taco Tuesday, drop your favorite taco place into the comments because I always want to know if I'm ever visiting a place what the best tacos are. All right, so let me get into a few of the screenshots that I took over the past day or so. And some of them are actually quite funny and some of them are quite sad. So let's talk about this right here. I want to start off with, I was in the grocery store yesterday, and this was a sign that was on the outside of the milk sort of, how do you say, doors that swing open the cold aisle. And it's talking about organics. Now, this is a brand that I normally would buy for like cottage cheese and things like that. But they have a lot of dairy products. And it says, due to a nationwide shortage, we're having difficulty sourcing the following organics products: organic milk, creamer, butter, cheese, eggs, half and half, heavy whipping cream. Okay, that's a lot of products that they're having a problem sourcing. So tell me in the comments if you are a organic brand buyer, if you're seeing this in your grocery store, because that's a lot of things they're having a difficulty sourcing. And it's not just eggs, right? This is a lot of their product range. With dairy, I am assuming, because I put a little description into this live stream, if you want to go check it out, there is a dip in milk production. So I'm assuming that this shortage for this brand is going to trickle into some of those other brands. If there is a shortage from one, there's probably going to be a little bit of a shortage in the industry no matter what, because they're probably pulling back. And I want to know the reason why, though. Why is there a shortage? Is there something happening with the cows? Is there something happening with the processing plants? Is it a staffing thing? Is it maybe some contamination thing? I have no idea what the shortage reason is, but now we're having a shortage of other, products that happen to come from these farms. So that was something that I think we should be really watching out for. Okay, let's move on to something that was actually kind of funny. Okay, JD Vance I had to take it like this screenshot. It was a video, so I took it kind of midstream. He's bungling. This is JD on this side, and this is the player for Ohio State. He struggles to pick up the trophy at the ceremony yesterday at the White House, bungles it. The guy over here, he gets the top half. JD drops the bottom half, and it was so just like it was the karmic effect. I felt like this was karma coming right back in real time for JD. So if you didn't see this presentation of, the Ohio State Buckeyes at the White House yesterday, it's all over the internet. Go ahead and try to find it. I know, Mr. Arrogance. Yes. That was the funny part. I was trying to find things that would make me laugh today instead of waking up to trauma because of Donald Trump. So let's talk about this one. This one is a little bit traumatic. So this is the headline that I wanted to talk about. Man accused of setting fire to Pennsylvania governor's home was denied bail. This is on track. Let's not give this man any room to get free from the charges and accountability, because they were at home. Shapiro and his family were in the house apparently. And this is very, very scary. Especially, we're all kind of we're reeling off of this trauma of fires here in Los Angeles. So anytime I hear that there is a fire happening, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yesterday we had an earthquake. It's like too much all kind of rolled up in one. But yeah, so like I said, constitutional crisis. This headline is very interesting because it says, it's becoming impossible to ignore. CNN is very coy with their headlines, but I really think that if we are going to be honest with all of the people that are watching what's going on from the sidelines, not the people who have actually experienced it, like federal workers being laid off, or congressional people or Senate people who are actually in the mix and hearing the drama and the backroom dealings and all of that, but regular Americans who are watching from the sideline going, yeah, that seems wrong. That seems wrong. I don't think that should be happening. Rights being stripped away, all of those things. This is not impossible to ignore. We are in it. And if we can't actually identify that we are in it, then we are just living in some sort of facade. So I hope that people are really understanding how serious all of this really is, because there have been time after time after time after time, whether it's the markets being manipulated because of tariffs and no sort of plan, the signal gate where, mission plans are being discussed on an insecure app, whether it's sending people to El Salvador who have no US criminal records, but oh my gosh, they have tattoos, but we're not going to give them due process. Vivian says, me too. There is a full report on the news tab here from Trump, and it's not a good one. Yeah, all the things. The fact that he is in decline, and we all have seen it over time. No one's bothered by this? I mean, and then to say that the next guy in line is the guy who fumbled the trophy yesterday is just, it's laughable because it's so sad. So I hope that we can remember that this is not how it should be. And we all, in our heart of hearts, we know Kamala won. All right, so let's talk about the WNBA draft, because there were a lot of winners, and there was one person that didn't get the time and attention that I think they probably wanted yesterday during the WNBA draft. Sedona Prince was not selected. She went undrafted because of allegations of physical and sexual abuse. Now, I didn't watch the WNBA draft live, but I've been seeing a lot of TikTok videos over the last few hours of people like this, just in shock that these sort of allegations would be kind of aired live on TV during the draft selection. So I'm not quite sure who the allegations are coming from. I believe in the article they're talking about ex-girlfriends of this particular player. These are allegations. I don't know if she's actually kind of said anything on her own behalf about the allegations. She's a 6'7" player. She's 6'7". extremely tall. She's 25 and she had some sort of injury. So she is an older player in the kind of grand scheme of things of players coming right out of college. But that's kind of one of the things I did not expect to be a headline today. And it's very interesting about how much the WNBA has put on this for her going undrafted. But a lot of the other sports leagues that have to do with men, they go ahead and draft these people. It doesn't matter if they have an allegation. It doesn't matter if they, have abused a number of people in the past. They're going ahead and drafting them. And I don't know. I mean, you can speculate. I'm being coy here as to why that would be, right? Let's see. Phoenix, how are you? It says, I only have tangentially heard about Sedona Prince. I don't know the first thing about it, but it was all over my FYP this morning. Me too. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. If the WNBA is concerned with these allegations, then good for them for wanting to at least process whatever that might be before putting a player in a situation where she is now colleagues with the rest of these people and having that be bad for a team. I'm not quite sure if they are allegations that have been substantiated with evidence and they are true, but maybe they're doing their due diligence and saying, until we find out if they are true, we're not going to allow this person to be part of this particular, organization, which I think, you can go either way on this, but I can say this. If the WNBA is basically undrafting a person like this who has allegations, and a lot of those other sports leagues are just kind of going through and saying, well, we'll find out when we find out, and like kind of giving it some space, that's two different strategies. I'm not quite sure which one is the best because I don't work for those organizations, and I feel like they have their own process of, whether they are going to suss out if it's true or not. But I also think that if it is true and they do hire her and it comes back on them, that's a bad look, right? It's just a bad look. All right, so let's keep going. This is the bad look from yesterday. Oh, this is what she looks like. She's very tall. I mean, clearly, if someone was going to draft her, she would be a force because she's so tall. All right, so this is a headline I saw Rolling Stone. And it is so much better than I think a lot of the other media that is out there. By the way, if you like what I'm doing here on my Sandra Lives on YouTube, give it a like wherever the like button is. It's somewhere over here. I think it's down here. Trump and Bukele bond over human rights abuses in Oval Office meeting. That's the most sharp headline I've seen where people are basically saying like, these two guys were like chumming it up over hurting people, taking people from their families, feeling like they were doing something amazing, except they were not, right? This was so horrible to see. Him like, oh, we should make 5 more. We're going to send homegrown people to your prisons. Like, they were chummy. It was really, really sad and bone chilling to see. And this was the first headline that I saw that was like, yeah, they were bonding over abuse, which is, I mean, it's sad. It's just sad. It says, Bukele said he won't return a man the U.S. mistakenly deported, while Trump teased sending American citizens to El Salvador's torture prisons. It's like, really, guys? Can't you do this in a back room and not just like on full display? I'd rather be on full display at this point because we all know. We all know. Anyways, that's the sad part. All right, let's talk about this one, okay? I put a little bit of a summary into the description of this live stream so you can kind of see what's been happening. And Kelsey, this is Travis Kelsey, the guy that's dating Taylor Swift. And he wants to meet Kanye man to man. Now, this is a very interesting one because I am just going to say this. I don't think this is a wise idea. I think Kanye uses this situation to propel himself with his PR. Okay. I think he is using this for PR. And maybe Travis is as well. Excuse me, but I don't think that this is a wise move to be like, yo, I want to meet him man on man. Like, what is that? Like, what are they gonna have a fight? Like, is this gonna be the next UFC thing, or is it gonna be like Mike Tyson getting back in the ring after all those years? Like, this seems like if he wants to maintain his football career, he needs to be in tip-top shape. He doesn't need to be like worrying about like getting into a one-on-one meeting with Kanye West. Like, it feels very much like a distraction from a lot of the things that we've seen about Travis and Taylor together. And it also feels like a knee-jerk reaction to what Kanye West is doing. Like, Taylor has over the years just kind of ignored, right? They've just kind of just ignored him and just let him do what he does because he needs attention, right? Now, Kelsey is, trying to, stand up for his girl. And I kind of feel like she doesn't need that. She doesn't need somebody to do that for her. And I feel like and I don't know him. I'm just letting you know, I don't know him. But the way that this kind of reads in these articles is that like he needs to assert himself, to say that he did something instead of sitting back and letting it happen. And I get that because a lot of people would say, yeah, stand up for your girl. Like, come on. But at the end of the day, it just feeds the fuel into the fire of Kanye. It's another lyric for him, that he's fired you up. It reminds me of, have you ever heard that song with Mariah Carey? Like, you're so obsessed with me, da 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 da, right? And I think this song, that song was about Eminem. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me, but it's another lyric. Like, the whole idea of feuding is just more content for some of these artists. So who knows? Who knows what this is? Yes, PR stunt, I guess. Vivian. Phoenix, I don't think Taylor needs anybody to stand up for her. She is a very strong, independent woman in her own right. Thank you. Amen. I don't think she needs that either. I think in some respects, he needs that. And I don't know him from Adam, but I think he is displaying what a lot of men would do when he thinks that, his woman is being targeted, right? Except in this case, she stands up for herself all the time, and I don't think she needs that either. All right, let me go back because I wanted to show you this picture. So this, I didn't show it to you when we were talking about the WNBA draft, but I have questions. Okay, so this is Paige Becker, and she went number 1. Okay, but if you notice, all of the tables, like, they're all sitting at these sort of banquet tables, and everybody is there, right? Everybody who's going to be sort of selected is there. And then there's this sort of balcony area, with people, friends, supporters, fans, maybe all the like, right? Why are they at tables with just water? Like, and this is just me as like an event person wanting to see that like they're being treated lavishly and like get what you deserve, but they all showed up and they sat at empty tables. Now, if they had eaten before this, great. But I don't think anybody ate anything. So this sort of setup is like, I don't know how many hours they were there to do this event for people to get drafted. But to me, I'm thinking, feed these people. I don't know. They just look like they're all at these sort of black clothed orange flowers, WNBA balls in the middle of the table and some water. And like, it doesn't feel like fancy to me. It feels very stale and, just, I don't know. Tell me your opinion. Like, no glass. Like, yeah, like, she's got a glass here. I think this is like over here, like some water. Maybe back here you see some water at another table. I don't know what they're doing. They're all just sitting there at a table. Like, get them something. Like, I don't know, hors d'oeuvre or popcorn or something. I don't know. I just feel like they showed up to sit at an empty table, and they need to like do it up. Like, do it up. I know that they had an orange carpet similar to this sort of color, and it was sponsored by Coach. I'm pretty sure that was it Coach? I think I saw a picture where it was sponsored, and it made sense. Like make it better every year, make it better, get the sponsors out there. Yeah, I know I took an awkward picture of the screenshot, but I think she was waiting for her name to be called. She was the first round draft pick, so she knew that she was going to be first, so she was just in anticipation. But the tables, to me, it just seems like, what are we all doing? Everybody's sitting there at attention with nothing to do, and they just, yeah. And to be there for hours, I just think that like they needed a little bit more. They need some more. One of the things that I think is very important is to tell you again that Voodoo Donuts is in Los Angeles on Melrose if you want to partake. And then also I want to go back to this, which is the stock market. The stock market. Don't forget, this was another thing that happened in the last week and a half. I mean, what's really happening, you know? And the other part of this is China has been all over everybody's FYP, manufacturers, just everybody is kind of spilling the tea. I would love to know what you have learned in the past few days about Chinese manufacturing, because I feel like I am becoming an expert based on all the videos that I've been seeing. And I hope that, you know, this whole up and down roller coaster, that it stops very soon, because there's the trade war that we are sort of in with the world is not going to benefit our economy. And it doesn't benefit anybody's economy, really. And the Chinese manufacturers that are spilling the tea, it might be benefiting them, right? I saw a video where the guy said, show me what's in your house that you have imported from China. And this is somebody who said he was from China, and he said this, like there was nothing in his hands. And then he said, show me, if you're in the US, what you have in your house that you have from China. And he was just like everything in your house is probably made in China. So they have a point. I hope you liked some of these headlines and my analysis. Definitely for more, go to the description, I think it's down below, of this video, so you can kind of understand the JD Vance bungling of the Buckeye Trophy, the consequences of the actions of the president when it comes to not returning Abrego Garcia from this El Salvadorian prison, and all of the other stuff with Travis Kelce, Kanye West, Becker, the #1 draft pick, and Sedona as well. And don't forget to like this, share it out if you can, if you have social media, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to join me, normally I'm doing a YouTube live in the morning and a Substack live in the evening. You can find me on Substack at Colton-Medici, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.